Hello, good evening, we are live. So this session today is for hamstrings. It's called Free Your Hamstrings. It's a 20-minute session trying to release tension, pain in your hamstrings and increase your flexibility, your mobility, your ability to bend down without pain. So what we need as equipment today, I have a chair, and a ball. So this is a tennis ball, a super squishy one. So the softer the better, because you don't want to be causing pain, you want to be relieving pain. So we're wanting to stimulate the muscle first. We're going to massage out each side of the hamstring, each leg, but also the outside and the inside to try and free it up and stimulate blood flow into the area. And then we will stretch in anatomically correct ways. So no injuries, going easy, lots of breath work. So I hope that you enjoy and that you really get something out of it. I know this is definitely the way that my hamstrings start to feel better, and it releases any pain in my low back, sometimes sciatica, the hip flexors. It's also connected. No system ever works alone. So should we start? Shall we get going? So get your ball, get your chair, and come up and let's start. I'm just going to have a quick drink of water. Let's get ready to go. So we're going to start sitting. So grab your chair. I just picked a white one so that you might be able to see a little bit better. And I want you to sit all the way back onto your chair and lean back so that you're not actively gripping in the fronts of your hips. So I'm going to start with the ball, and I'm going to place it under my left hamstring, but right up at the top where your butt cheek joins the back of your leg. So lift up your left hip and place it down, and then try and settle back down on it. Now this might take a little bit of trial and error of wriggling around. But you want to be feeling almost your sitting bone right up at the top of your leg, bottom of your pelvis. So have a little wriggle. I think I might have a squeaky chair here, so it might be interesting noises for class. And so just trying to settle down. So by settling, I mean not bracing against it. You're allowing your leg to be heavy, really settled, no muscles engaged. Your stomach is relaxed, your low back is relaxed. You're not trying to move away from the ball, you're trying to include it as part of your body. So we're taking a couple of deep breaths. Is it tender here? Do you feel any sensations of sciatica going down the back of the leg or the side of the leg? So we're just taking one more deep breath here. Fab. And then let's lift up your butt cheek and then roll it down just about 1 centimetre or 2. And now I want you to be really into the muscle belly. So right at the top of the hamstring is where the 3 hamstrings, because there's 3 muscles on each side, they all overlap and join in the bottom of your pelvis, the sitting bone. So right up at this top junction can be a real hot spot for tension. So here, if you're having trouble settling, as in letting go entirely and letting your body weight fall into the ball, then just pull back, so lean off away to the right a little bit until you can settle a little bit more of your body weight into the ball. So this is where the fun begins. So we are pressing into the hamstring. We're effectively trying to stretch the fibres over the muscle. Just going to move back a little bit so you can see my leg. I'm going to move my left leg in a mo. So I'm just going to take another deep breath here. Nice and calm. Those exhales encouraging your nervous system to say, this is calm and peaceful, it's not painful. We're allowing it to happen, allowing the muscle to let go. So now, when I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable with the ball underneath my hamstring, I'm going to try and lift the bottom of the left leg. So the lower leg is just going to try and extend a little bit and then placing it back down. So as you do that movement, no matter how small, you will feel the muscles gliding and moving over the tennis ball. So you're pinning the muscle in one place with the ball, and then you're trying to mobilise the muscle going over the top, so getting a deeper little stretch. Extending just as much as you can or you want to without pain. Remember, this is at most supposed to be a 5 out of 10 on the discomfort scale rather than pain scale. Great, we're going to do one more if you are doing them. Fab. And then we're going to lift that butt cheek all the way back up. So this time we're going to split the hamstrings. So we have the one hamstring that goes down to the outside of the knee, so you can feel the string as it attaches on the outside. And we have two muscles, the strings you can feel attaching on the inside. So that's the 3 hamstring muscles. So we'll go down the outside of the hamstring first. So just where you were, move it a little bit further down and a little bit further off to the outside of your thigh. So you can just see it peeking out here on the video. Oh, so this one is a bit more tender for me, the outer hamstring. This one is the biceps femoris. So we are going to settle, we're going to breathe, take the weight all the way back into the chair, nice and relaxed through all of the stomach and the hip flexors. The hamstring is relaxed, the quad is relaxed, the foot as much as possible, just supported on the floor. Ready for another deep breath? Big sigh out. And we're ready to extend that low leg. So left one again, because the ball's underneath that left leg. So only going as far as your tolerance allows. So if you cannot move your leg at all without it being going into the pain territory, stop. Just breathe, just try and settle. It's enough to try and stimulate that muscle with the ball. So this is why I said the softer the better, because the softer the ball, the more likely you are in good time to be able to relax into it. If it's a super hard ball, like a lacrosse ball or a cork ball, it's going to take a lot more time for your nervous system to trust that that is safe and to soften that muscle for you. One more extension if we're doing it. Great, we're going to do one more little space on the outside of that hamstring. So I've lifted my hip up off the ball, moved it down a couple of centimetres, then settling, still on that outside line. So for me, I've gone about halfway down my thigh bone. And this is right into the muscle belly, the centre of the muscle. So for me, this one is tender. So I'm going to drop my shoulders, close my eyes, really feel all those sensations. Taking a couple of deep breaths, really going through a mental checklist of which muscles I can encourage to let go in order for that ball to be able to sink into the muscle to stretch the hamstrings. One more of the deepest breaths. And we're ready to extend that low leg. Last ones here for the outer hamstring. So many things for the hamstrings. But knowing that there's 3 and that they go on the outside and the inside is a great place to start, because you can find out which one of the hamstrings is your issue, which one's the tightest one, and then you can work on it. Last extension here. Fab, and coming all the way off. I'm going to place this ball on the inner portion of the hamstring. So it's not that you're going right on this inside line, you're still at the back of the leg. But you are trying to get it in the inside portion. So you'll feel like the fleshiness of your inner thigh is being pushed up, which is a good thing. We're not worried about what your thighs look sitting on a chair here. So I'm placing it in about the middle of the muscle, so about halfway down my thigh. So we're going to do just one spot here on these 2 thinner muscles on the inside. So again, leaning back, settling back, relaxing through the stomach and the hip flexors. Allowing that leg to be heavy over the ball. Remember, stimulating it. We're trying to get the brain connected to that part because you're causing a little bit of discomfort. It knows where it is, so it'll know whether to let go and whether to be able to let it stretch. But also all of that lovely blood flow coming into it because you're pressing it. And blood flow is an analgesic. It helps with pain relief. It helps with recovery. It has those wonderfully oxygenated cells that are going to come and heal it. Magic. So we're settling back, we have one more deep breath. And then the lower leg extension, so just the lower leg. You're trying not to lift your leg off the ball, you're trying to leave it down as relaxed as possible, and you're just working the quad in order to extend the low leg. So I'm not lifting up and away, I'm trying to keep down low, pinning and stretching that hamstring muscle. Great, one more. Fab, coming all the way off that ball. Place it down on the floor. So now we have effectively stimulated the whole of that left hamstring. We're going to take the opportunity to stretch it. So The way that you stretch anatomically correctly in a hamstring is that you are going to extend that leg a little. So if you put your knees at a 90-degree angle to your ankles and your hips, and then just extend your left leg a little bit more. You don't have to straighten it entirely or lock out the knee. Just extend it a little bit further. So we're going to think about chest forward, sitting bones out. We're going to pitch forward. So I like to put a hand on my lower belly and a hand on my chest so that I can feel like I'm really pitching forward. And I'm trying to stick my butt out as much as possible. So I'm not rounding at all. I'm only going to where I can maintain a straight spine. And this is how you get into the upper hamstrings especially, and then come all the way back up. We're going to do one more exactly the same. So pitching forward, all the way, and coming all the way back. Great. See if you can extend that leg a little bit longer. And noting I'm not flexing the toes up towards my face, not flexing the foot. I'm keeping a relaxed foot as much as possible. So here, 2 more. We're flexing the spine, pitching forward. Breathe out when you get there. Breathe in to come all the way back up. 1 more, flexing all the way. And come all the way back up. Great, give it a little rub. Were you surprised by how far you went or how not far you went on a first attempt? Let's do the other side. So this is a super slow treatment, and it's slow for a reason. Hamstrings are well known for being tight for most people, especially if you sit down at a desk an awful lot of the time. So when you have your legs folded underneath you in a 90-degree angle, your hamstrings are effectively shortened. You can't really sit with your legs out long all the time. That's not really how workstations are set up. So let's sit on the tennis ball under the right pelvis. So find right at the top of the hamstring and have a little wriggle. See where that bone is, the sitting bone on the right hand side, so the bottom of the pelvis, and then try and lean back and settle into it. Again, that mental checklist: is your stomach relaxed? What about your glutes? Can you switch them off? What about your low back? What about your hip flexors? Are you gripping on at the front here? What about that entire right leg? Can you let gravity just make it heavy and settle it down? 1 breath here, 1 more to go. Breathing out. Great. Let's move that ball just a little bit further down. So going right into the center of the thigh, rather than on the outside or the inside to start with. Right up at the top, at that junction where all 3 of the muscles cross over. So this one might be sensitive. Are you feeling any sensations of sciatica? If you are, more deep breaths and just stay. It's better to try and work to your own limitations rather than push heavy, because your body will not want it. Your brain will not allow it. So sitting all the way back, and 1 more deep breath. Great, we're going to extend that low leg. So the right leg just extends as much as you want to, as much as you can, and bring it back in. So we're not extending and staying and holding, we are moving dynamically through this pin and stretch. So the ball is right underneath my right thigh, right underneath the hamstrings, pressing up and in, and then I'm extending that hamstring further. Last one here, extend and drop all the way down. Great, lifting up that butt cheek. And this time we're going to go on the outside hamstring, that biceps femoris. So move just a little bit further down the hamstring. On the outside, you can see the ball peeking out here, and then settle back again. Really working on breathing, big exhales, telling your brain that this is okay. Let go of the hamstrings, we don't need them to be so tight. 1 more breath. Ready to extend that low leg. Just 4 or 5 if you are doing it, not too many. This is the most comfortable way you can make huge gains in your hamstring mobility, flexibility. If you're really having trouble with your hamstrings, these ones are amazing. You can even sit on a tennis ball at work, at the breakfast table, at your dining table, have a tennis ball handy and just stick it under that thigh. Not to be recommended while you're driving. So we're going a bit further down the hamstring on the outside. So take it out, move it down, and this time try to be maybe halfway up your thigh bone and settling back down. Ooh, I've got a tight bit here. I'm going to try and move away from that bit because I wouldn't be able to relax into it. So I'm just moving the ball a little bit further away to see where I can settle. That's a bit easier. Settling back, breathing deep, switching off all unnecessary muscles, heaviness in that leg. Can you feel that it radiates anywhere, maybe up to the sitting bone, down to the back of the knee? Can you feel it all the way into your heel or your toes? Just being really conscious of what your body's telling you. Ready for those extensions, extending out and back in. Whew, this one's a tight one. I thought the left was tight, but no, the right is winning. Ready, last two here, extending just as much as you want to. You don't have to go all the way up like me. And then let's move that tennis ball out. We're going to go to the inner hamstrings now. So on that right side, lift up the right thigh and place the ball about halfway down your thigh, but on the inner portion. So you're trying to push the flesh of your inner thigh up so that it spreads wider. Settling back. Always that mental checklist when you're massaging. Nothing else in your body should be tight and held, especially the area that you're working on, but the rest of you. Can you drop your shoulders down? Can you relax your jaw? Unfurrow your brow? Maybe turn the head side to side just to try and release the neck and shoulders, the upper body a little bit more. And we're ready to extend that low leg on the right hand side. So opening out the hamstring and all the way back in. So heaviness through the upper leg still, no lifting away from the chair. Great. We've got one more here. Woo. Great. Lifting off, taking the tennis ball out. And now we're going to stretch the right hamstring. Now we've stimulated it. So when we've stimulated a muscle, any muscle in the body like this, you have a 10-minute window where that blood flow is really, really high, that you can use that and all the heat that the blood brings to have a more effective stretch. So this time, legs are at 90 degrees and we extend that right leg just a little bit further. And again, hand on the low belly, hand on the chest if you want to, like me, have that feedback of where the pitch forward is coming from. Sticking the butt all the way out, the chest leads forward. Relaxing that right foot all the way down. How far can you go with a straight spine before you start to curve? Stick the butt further out, breathing out. Breathing in, all the way back up. And again, one more exactly the same. Breathing out, softening through the rest of the body. Breathing in to come all the way back up. And now if you want to, you can extend that leg a little bit longer, a little bit straighter. If that was a deep enough stretch and that was a serious stretch into there, don't go any further. Just do exactly the same. So we're ready with a relaxed foot, no flexion here. We're coming all the way forward, sitting bones poking out behind you, chest leads. So if you've gone for a straighter leg, you might feel that there's much more resistance. Breathing in to come all the way up. Last one, breathing out, pitching forward. Breathing in to come all the way back up. Give it a rub. Say thank you, hamstring, for letting me work on you. I do hope that that was effective for you. That was a much slower pace of a class compared to the ones that we've been doing before. We only did one exercise really. I do hope that you get a lot of improvement from this exercise. It does help if you do it regularly with a schedule, maybe even once a week. If you did it once a day, you'd make bigger leaps forward. So if you enjoyed this and you felt the benefit, let me know. You can message underneath the video. If you're more of an introvert and you want to message me privately, message me. I'm here, I'm on this platform and available for you to have a conversation with me. If you want a more formal chat about your physical situation, book in a call. I'll drop the link below. A 30-minute chat, 20-minute chat with me and let's work out exactly how I can help you if I can help you. There's also the 3 free videos. I always say that as a tongue twister. Please claim them, they're there for you. They are 3 videos, one of them is 10 minutes, I think the other 2 are 20 minutes. They're perfect for getting to know me and my story, why I'm perfect to help you. I hope you have a lovely evening. Thanks so much. I will see you very soon. Bye.